action. Brigitte, which draft here are you really liking? I mean, you're jumping up and down here. Who's it for? Is it Aurora?
I mean, it's been a while since we've seen the YSS, so I'm kind of excited to see how ONIC PH are going to deal with it. Also, of course, the Ruby, which makes a sudden appearance as well, but Brusco, this reminds me of the game #1 start, but at least now, they're not really punished. But this is what you like to see about ONIC Philippines, the way they're keeping the aggression going. But you can say the same for Aurora Gaming.
I feel like that's what you do, especially if you're Kalea. You know, you're easily able to go ahead and heal back up if you do take a couple shots. Oh. So, whoa, unlike this, Apex 47, yeah, he's gonna have to go ahead and get back here. But still, for the most part, even looking at the compositions here, yeah, I think this is going to be the interesting one, is you take a glimpse of the gold lane, is how will this play for Sigiboom? Because we've seen his mechanics and his positioning is usually really good. Now it changes when you throw a hero like the Ruby in his hands. It's going to be a little bit different. You can see he's going with a whole lot of this, though. He is going to be running that, you know, the Festival of Blood. He's got the Brave Smite, so he can go ahead and heal up a lot, like LaFell mentioned earlier on, especially when Kirk is utilizing that glue.
Yeah, also with the thrill. So this is the kind of Ruby which has a bit, or maybe not even a bit, of damage to it whenever it goes for those I'm offended plays or those brief stuns you latch onto the opponents to make things a bit more difficult. Oh, okay. Cool steal from TNZ, denying King Kong of that, but they will be getting their level 4s nonetheless, so this is going to be interesting. The way they're able to manage and deal with the first objective of the game. There's a lot of action going in all parts of the map, but who's going to get to set things first?
All right, they get in position. Brusco, again, not level 4, neither is Apex 47, so both junglers will just get the busted ace. TNZ going to go for a... I thought he was going to go for a cheeky steal there, too. So, buff secure for King Kong. There's the fight.
Flicker from Kirk, followed by Brusco. They're really going after TNZ, but Super Prince, he gets caught, however. King Kong secures the turtle and just decides to walk away. So far, ONIC, they've been very decisive in wanting to take down TNZ, but it seems like they lacked the damage, or they weren't able to accomplish it just yet.
Wow, okay, so a couple things happened there. They were able to get the turtle as King Kong did the work.
Yeah.
They traded, of course, for a kill, so Aurora gets that kill. It was Sigiboom to catch him out for Super Prince. So, Brusco
could still walk away.
Okay. Brusco's going to be fine, but also, meanwhile, all that, as Kelro's going to be the next focus here, okay, nice Mountain Shocker. I think Kelro's going to be fine. He did go ahead and rush into the Sea Halberd, so he grabbed that. He's going to clear out this wave here, and he also got a whole bunch of gold in his pockets. Rosa! Goodbye, Super Prince! It's been a minute since we've seen the Farsa.
He literally just landed and used the feathered airstrike. Doesn't want to have or allow Rosa to have the best possible game for the Selena once more, but I'm really liking how Keller is managing the gold lane. I mean, it has been a surprise to see the Ruby go up against this hero, but even when they already decided to rotate, even when TNZ decided to rotate, he knew that it was just important to keep the waves out of the turret. There's the AOG, already committed by Apex 47. But they're being very particular about it. They don't want to engage in a fight that Aurora decides to set up for themselves.
Yeah, Aurora's got a couple options to go ahead and start fights up if they want to, and information advantage as well, especially with the Mountain Shocker once it's used. So they can play to that advantage if they want to. The turtle's about 10 seconds away here as ONIC Philippines tries to get in positioning. We'll see if they go for it. Apex 47 won't land that Unbreakable. Not going to get the taunt off from Brusco.
He decides to flicker. He actually tries to go for TNZ, but on the other hand, Lunar as well surprises everyone. The Primal Wrath won't last long. Gets bursted down by Kellera and the rest of the members of ONIC. So it's a 1-for-1 trade so far. It's the EXP and the Roamer that gets traded.
It's going to be a tough one if they want to contest this. Super Prince doesn't have a feathered airstrike just yet, and he's quite low.
Yeah.
They might force it, but right now, Aurora will go ahead and secure themselves the turtle. So a good decision from them and good timing too. So now they go and get back into position. Kelra might have to be careful here. What we're seeing a lot is this Ruby being kind of a nuisance to deal with, especially with the Lancelot, for example, King Kong. Apex is here, though.
Okay, they have to protect their gold lane, but the Abyssal Arrow and the AOG nearly lands, but it misses by just a bit. They'll have to let go of their tier 1 turret down bottom. And we're starting to see the idea that Aurora Gaming actually has. It's pressure, constant pressure on the gold lane. It forces reactions out of ONIC Philippines. They'll try to get a kill, however, onto Lunar, and they have enough damage to do that.
Good decision. I didn't think they'd go for it, but anyway, Apex 47 is going to get dragged back.
Yeah, there's the grab. Just one more hit. Will they be able to do it? Kirk delivers the final blow, and now ONIC PH, they're somehow ahead. They secure the lead against Aurora Gaming, although it's somehow just 1,000 gold for now.
Yeah, a whole lot of just trading going on, at least, you know, even in terms of around the map, those objectives, but Kelra's been having a pretty good time on this Beatrix, you know, sitting on 2 kills now. He's got a very minor lead against Sigiboom. And they can go ahead and play around the fact that Brusco has been doing the same thing. You know, every single time the Tsunami Slam is available, especially when the Flicker is there, he's going and being decisive enough to make those plays happen. And Kelra, all he has to do is, you know, set up. And, yeah, you can see the burst potential from this composition is something that Aurora Gaming is going to have to watch out for.
This kind of reminds you of the Beatrix and the Novaria, except that it's not the Star Shutter, it's the feathered airstrike that can be used to actually complement or vice versa, whichever they want to use first. So Aurora Gaming, if that was something ONIC wasn't able to get their hands on previously, now they have so much range, they have so much access, King Kong being one of them too. They can literally play with the angles whenever there's a team fight. And there you go, immediately taking down Rosa. There's the counter. I'm offended, nearly catching 2, but still, they survive and walk away from all the threats. Kirk too, doing a lot just to zone out the other members of Aurora Gaming. The feathered airstrike, cooldown's over. So now they somehow gain control in the turtle pit, but Lunar...
Lunar pops the Primal's Wrath. Now he's going to be in trouble. Kirk's going to go ahead and bring him on back. King Kong just around the corner, though. Is he going to commit to this? Goes in with Thorn Rose. They have enough damage to bump off Kelra, too.
Oh,
boom, another shot, a double for Kelra.
Imagine that. He just had to wait for a bit to join back the fight again. That's King Kong looking for the targets, and he still doesn't want to stop. Phantom Execution doesn't land on Rosa, but there's the feathered airstrike. Still, though, he somehow makes it out alive. A clean flicker or a clean dodge coming in from Rosa to get out of that. But ONIC Philippines clearly in the lead right now. If it was just 1K earlier, now it's already 5K.
It's crazy how fast that ballooned up, you know, just in a matter of a minute or so. You get yourself a nice lead at this point. You can see some of the items here now falling into place, especially, and ONIC Philippines, very interesting. Now you've got that ultimate accessible to you even more for Brusco. And that's going to be great because this is what we've seen all day from him, is that Tsunami Slam.
And Kelra, look at the first item. He actually went for the Sea Halberd, going up against Sigiboom on the Ruby in the gold lane. So they're really looking for ways to answer and deal with Aurora Gaming, even from the very beginning of this game. So now they have to keep the pressure going. They have to limit the ways that Aurora are able to move around the map. And I feel like that responsibility is mostly going to fall on Kirk's shoulders right now. He's the one who has to be the threat, who has to be the disruptor for Aurora Gaming. Look at the damage coming in from Kelra as well. Brave enough to stand in front of both Sigiboom and Rosa in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Kelra relying specifically on just how, you know, mechanically gifted as a player as he is, he can go ahead and be confident enough to just rely on a flicker even if he has to against someone like a Ruby who could do the exact same thing, you know, flicker forward, I'm offended, pull you on in. But it's funny because every time we see a Beatrix pop up, it's kind of like, you remember that time when Beatrix was just so dominant, you know, she even had her own figurine back for the World Championship. And it's like, man, you kind of remember just how good it is to have multiple options in terms of, you know, all the guns she has available to go ahead and for the right situation. But even so, it's just the Counter hasn't been able to be caught because of the fact that you just have such good zoning from this lineup here. There's already, Brusco!
Brusco, he decides to go for Sigiboom, but there's a Winter Crown. Could potentially save him from this pickoff, and he has a lot of sustain to deal with it. But Kelra decides to go for Apex 47 first. There's the Revitalize, which buys him a lot more time. But on the other sides of the map, King Kong was able to work on other members too, but at the expense of his very own life. That doesn't look too good for ONIC PH.
I gotta say though, Sigiboom bought a ton of time. So even without King Kong, ONIC Philippines is gonna just go for this Lord here. I'm not sure if Aurora Gaming is gonna do anything. Rosa might give him the information, but they just make the decision. It's better off that we just give it up. We don't deal with it. The Lord is secured here for ONIC Philippines. So that fight that broke out, you know, it was just really kind of split up even. And yeah, it was King Kong that went down, but nonetheless, again, Kaura well protected here with Brusco. Sigiboom buys some time. You can see King Kong was going for Lunar, but TNZ was there to go ahead and help him out. So again, a great play from both sides, but ultimately objective going in the hands of ONIC Philippines will now allow them to march towards the base here. And we'll see if Aurora Gaming has enough to go ahead and defend. That's an I'm offended thrown on out. Not gonna find a mark here. The Lord is going up top side, so expect ONIC Philippines to at least get to these base turrets.
Yep, they're trying to sink the waves as well, making the most out of this objective that they were already able to take for themselves. Feathered Airstrike already committed, and so will be that split early. Oh, no, it's okay. They don't really mind that. So now they get to expose all the inhibitor turrets for now from Aurora Gaming. That's a lot of damage coming in from King Kong, but at least a successful defense for now.
And they deal with that Lord. The waves are still going to be pushing in. I don't think you can roll. Never mind. Brusco!
Another flicker into the Bennett's Rage, but the Primal Wrath will be able to keep him safe, and it might not be looking too good for ONIC PH. Super Prince and Brusco get punished for that attempt.
As I was about to say, Brigitte, I don't think you can really get more of that. Brusco's like, nope. Hold my drink, I got this, and then two go down for ONIC Philippines. So this is actually going to buy some time here and some space now for Aurora Gaming. Off of that, they'll get the tier 1 in mid now, make their way towards this tier 2, and this is a good chance for them to get some space back in their favor here. The wave is going to be cleared out though in the mid lane, so ONIC Philippines against it all will still hold on to the majority of the tournaments. Gotta keep track of that King Kong damage.
Ooh, is King Kong gonna go for it? That's 5 members of Aurora Gaming, though.
I thought they were gonna delay them a little bit further, but yeah, nonetheless, they don't lose too much, so they only lose that mid turret tier 1.
I think Brusco just has to pick his targets really well. He went for Lunar earlier, and although yes, Lunar does just have the flicker, or maybe doesn't have the flicker earlier, this is an Edith who could Primal Wrath his way to at least stay a little longer in the fights and throw out a bit more damage as well. So it's still going to be a threat if you're not able to burst him down right before he's able to do or use the Primal Wrath. But then even then, during that moment, I feel like he was the most accessible target for Brusco. But if so, maybe, you know, be a little more careful with the timings if you're not so sure of whoever you want to target after all. So now everyone, or both teams, they seem to be looking for an angle to do something right before this objective. Brusco has the flicker, so that's one thing Aurora Gaming has to be mindful of.
So this is where we see ONIC Philippines get in position. Lord is up to go ahead and try to start this up. Maybe not fully commit to it just yet to see if Aurora Gaming will actually force a fight. You see, they do back off. So now Aurora's going to juggle this in between. Sigiboom has the flicker available. They might force it anyway.
Already forced to use the Feathered Airstrike. There's a conceal as well from ONIC Philippines. Brusco seems to be waiting for the target, but King Kong! He gets caught by Aurora Gaming. The layers, the chain, crowd control. Keller's the only one who will try to make things happen, and he actually does! It's a double kill for him, and he actually gets the Lord away from Aurora!
Oh my goodness, they might have just saved that from being way more devastating. Kaura somehow makes it through, but Rosa will pick up another kill. A big team fight for Aurora.
It's a 3-4-3 trade so far, but I feel like we have to see that once again, even not now, maybe later, but the way Kelra was just able to play around and deny that Lord. So it was looking bad for ONIC when they got the jump onto King Kong. But even when Kelra was low, he flickered in right there. He just decided to risk it all. Got the kill onto Tianzi and the kill on the Lord. Unbelievable decision making from Kelra.
Great arrow to start that fight, but also even greater decision from Kelra. A huge risk, but like you mentioned, Brigida, it gets you the objective, and ultimately that's what they wanted here. And so Tianzi picking up a little defensiveness, gets the win of nature. They got to deal with this Lord. ONIC Philippines in full force will go ahead and get ready to march towards this base. They're going to hold it as long as they can.
Oh, they try to take down Kirk, but he is too tanky for this. Already forced out the feathered airstrike though, but it'll be enough to take down that inhibitor turret up top. So they can or potentially will work on the remaining base turrets one by one. ONIC PH have to be careful with this. You see the late game already starting to come in, despite what happened for Aurora Gaming and their lineup.
Okay, they should hold on to this mid turret. I don't think they push any further. There is considerable damage, though, on the bottom base turret, but Aurora Gaming holds on to 2, so they're going to find themselves again in a position to go ahead and face off against ONIC Philippines, even for the next objective here. So despite it all, I feel like they're really confident in the fact that, hey, we can actually go toe-to-toe, we can win some of these fights, even if it means just playing around these arrows from Rosa. Rosa's been so good. Now 3 games in a row on the Selena.
It's like he has a target lock on Super Prince. He's making things so hard for Super Prince, honestly. But that's the thing, like Aurora Gaming, they've been making a lot of decisions which really extend the game and allow us to reach this point. Like, for how many times have we been seeing games which exceed the 15-minute mark?
Yeah.
I think this has been, if not the longest series, actually one of the longest series we've been seeing so far here in the group stage of MSC. So it's been a very close fight between Aurora Gaming and ONIC Philippines, but both have to be careful in setting up for this next and possibly last objective, depending on how things will go, because it's going to be very crucial. We're approaching the 18-minute mark.
And I know the thing about this whole... Oh, whoa. Hey, okay, Apex.
Okay.
I guess he went for it. He's like, hey, that's Kelra.
That could have been a combo, because like there was an Abyssal Arrow, there was an AOG, but yeah, there was a flicker from Kelra. They already lost major resources though, but they're still able to set up for this upcoming Lord fight.
Okay, now Kelra's got to be even more careful with this. And that's why Rosa, keep an eye on Rosa. Rosa's going to stay in that position. Again, that off angle. Super Friend will chase him down.
Whoa.
So Super Prince is like, hey, no more of that. Get out of this this back line, because Kelra's got to deal with that, and not having the flicker. They might be just the plan. Like, let's just delay this as much as possible. As the Lord has evolved now too, post the 18-minute mark. You can see the positioning here from ONIC, but Rosa's on point. Has all the information that he needs to go ahead and keep ONIC Philippines in check. So it's quite astonishing how Aurora Gaming has found themselves in this position where they were down quite a bit of thousands of gold minutes ago, 5+ minutes ago or so. And yes, they have one base turret down, but they're actually the ones with considerable control right now around this Lord. And they're going to be the ones to go ahead and start things up.
Maybe that was what Aurora Gaming wanted. Just take away the flicker from Kelra, you know? So we might have a better chance at being able to take him out whenever the fight breaks out and not allow him to save the game once again for ONIC Philippines. But
it's going to be up again soon. 30 seconds. And ONIC, like I said,
they just bought
delayed
enough time.
Just wait longer, right? Or wait faster, like Lapel said. And they did exactly that. So buff secured for King Kong 2. Once again, Kelra will have it about 15 seconds. Aurora Gaming might know this too, and they might want to just force a situation here. So Brusco, Conceal was used. They're going to force the fight anyway. Apex 47 takes some damage, but still, no one wants to commit to this Lord. It is going to be more difficult to take too because it's evolved. So Brusco even picks up an immortality for himself, and we'll have just this face-off for now.
I guess this is what they call the Lord Dance.
The Lord Dance.
It's been such a long dance between both of these teams. Lord currently at half HP.
This is the new dance. This is the 2025 version.
And all the while things were happening, a turret in the bottom lane was taken down by the minions. They've been getting pretty impatient as well with how things have been going. But will this finally be the start of the fight? They try to go for the onward or shadow combo onto Kirk, but it won't land. There's the feathered airstrike. Oh, TNT's very low on
great.
HP. Fortunately, there's not the Renner's apathy from Kellera to finish off the kill just yet, but will they still try to regroup? Oh, they go for Kellera! But Kinko still secures the Lord nonetheless, and I am offended connects onto two members of ONIC Philippines though, and it's Brusca and Super Fritz trying to run away, but Aurora, they're gonna chase after them! They're not letting him go! They pop the immortality, and it's only Super Fritz who's able to return to the base!
Oh no! It's a disaster for the Super Fam! Super Fritz tries, but Aurora Gaming made it happen, and Sigaboom did it too on the